What is going on, guys? We are here for week 11 of the Porsche 911 GT3 Fixed Track Guide Series. This week we're at Circuit Magny Cours. Pretty interesting circuit, actually. I think these cars around here will be a lot of fun. So same as always, we're running the setup, fixed setup, sorry, and we'll fire off down into turn 1 and give you a walkthrough lap, and then there'll be a hot lap at the end of the video. So just coming down the front straight, you want to be as far to the right hand side as possible. A little bit over the curb's fine. 5th gear. As you get to this end of the curb, it's a very short, sharp stab on the brake, downshift a gear, and then let the car turn in. But I don't turn the car in until I get to this green, the end of the green painted bit, or the start of the escape road sort of thing. That's where you're looking for. Turn the car in at the corner, 2 wheels over the curb. Car's going to slide out wide. You're probably going to end up around about here. And then from this point here, once you get to the end of the curb again, turn the car towards the apex. 2 wheels over the curb again. And then from that point, you want to sort of aim for the flag stand behind the fence. It's a very small object to view, but you can see it. And then you want to sort of diagonal the car into the corner. 4th back to 3rd gear. Get close. Once you get to the blue cone, start to let the car track off the apex. You're going to double apex the corner, so let the car run a little bit wider. I sort of run to about half track here. And then to really start to turn the car back, there isn't really there's nothing to sort of represent, alright, I'm here, now I start rotating the car back towards the corner. So I kind of use, like, once the windscreen wiper is in line with the start of the curb, as you can see sort of in that corner of the screen, that's when I start to rotate the car back towards the corner. Get nice and close to the green curb. Let the car track out right to the edge of the road. 2 wheels over is fine. And then start plucking up through the gears. Get close to the kink and then start to open up the corner. You want to be on the left hand side and you want to be braking at about 150 metres. So I'll just go back a little bit. So this white line here, just before the 100, it's not perfect, but it's pretty close to where you want to be. Obviously, there's going to be different situations, full fuel, cold tyres, qualifying fuel, you know what I mean? The marker's going to move slightly here. It's just because it's such a big brake zone, depending on how much weight's in the car and how much the car's moving around will depend sort of where the car's going to need to be required to brake. So I use this marker as a rough guide, and then from there I sort of work on where I can sort of brake from there. But around that 150 mark is about right. Nice and close to the edge of the road. Back down all the gears. 6th gear back to 1st gear. Stay nice and close to the curb. And then you want to turn the car in early at the corner. So I rotate about 3 red boxes from the end of the curb. That's where I start to turn the car at the corner. Get the car right down, 1st gear, get it to rotate, let it open the corner on the exit. Use all this exit curb. Up through the gears again. Stay close to this curb, set yourself up on the left hand side up here. Use the 50 metre board, or just before the 50 metre board. So roughly about here, you'll be 5th gear, pluck back to 4th gear, turn the car in at the end of the curb, 2 wheels over the first part. Be sensitive with that one because that one's got more of a height to it, so it will actually lift the car off the curb a little bit more. And then you want to set yourself up so as you come through the first one, you want to be exactly here. So 2 wheels over this part of the curb. Then let the car track right to the edge of the road. So so you're flowing the car quite aggressively through there. You want to start braking aggressively at the second red box or just before it. Nice big brake pressure, back to second gear from fourth. Stay as wide as you can for as long as you can. The car does get real loose in the rear here, so you got to be super careful. Turn the car in at the corner, but you want to late apex the corner, so you want to sort of turn back and not actually hit the curb until you like 3/4 of the way through the corner. So about this point here is where you pick up the corner, pick up the curb on the apex, and then rotate the car around, square it up, and punch it out of the corner. Stay off that curb the best you can because it will upset the balance of the car a little bit, especially about halfway through that curb. There's a bump in the curb, so you'll be careful there. Run the car up the hill. Fourth gear, just before the... It's 50 metres, so it's just before the 50 metre board. Well, it's 50 metres, I'm guessing. There's no sign there, but the 100 one's about 150 metres before that. So I would say this would be the 50 metre marker. Brake, back to fourth gear. Turn in at the start of the curb. Nice and close here, but then use more of the second curb here. Get the car to rotate, stay as close. You get a slide because of the speed you're carrying, but you want to stay as close to the left-hand side as possible. Like you're going to have movement off towards the middle of the track, if not to the edge of the track, depending on the speed you're carrying. But you want to make sure you get to that left as soon as possible to set yourself up for the next corner. I brake up here. So there's two styles of curb. I brake at the end of the first style into the second style of curb. Fourth gear, back to second. Same again here, rotate just before the end of the curb. I try and miss this curb a little bit more than others. It's just, I feel like it really is easy to, if you get the rear wheel on, like the right-hand rear wheel on the corner, on the curb, as you sort of pick the throttle up, it tends to want to slide out on you. So I try and get as close as possible to it without actually hitting it. Then let the car track right out to the edge of the road. Use the curb there. Start to run yourself down the hill. Now I stay to the left here, even at this kink. And then as soon as I've turned the kink and square the car up at this white line at 150, I start to get the car to start braking. It's probably about 140 actually. It's just after the white line because you're going downhill. You are carrying quite a bit of speed, so you're going to be fifth gear. You want to get back to second gear. Stay on the edge of the road. And then just before this little glass shield hut looking thing, that's when you start to turn the car at the corner in second. Rotate the car in. Use the first part of the curb, not the second or the third part of the curb. Car's going to push. It's got quite a bit of understeer here, so it's going to push wide. Use all the curb. And then once you get to the end of this, like there's a double curb here, and then it goes to a single curb. Once you get to the end of the double curb, that's when you start to rotate the car back towards the corner again. Use a little bit of curb here, and try and use minimal curb here, because this one's the one that upsets the balance of the car. You will have to use some curb, but you want to try and keep it as minimal as possible. Otherwise, you're just going to have a problem either with your turning or just trying to get power down out of the corner. So, and then there you go, guys. Run down the start-finish line, and that's a lap. So, we'll give you a hot lap now, and good. that, guys, is the lap of Magny Cours in the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car.